All right, we're here at Guitar Summit 2025 in Mannheim with the great Misha Mansoor.
Hi, how are you doing?
And we'd like to talk a little bit about him, about the Invective amp. So the Invective is your signature amp. What is it based off and what was the conception behind it?
So it's based off of a 5150 architecture, or 6505 architecture. They'll get mad at me for saying that, but like it's based off the 6505 architecture. But I wanted to modernize it because I felt like it was a pretty old design, and like when we designed it, what was it, 2018 or whatever? I wanted it to be something that was sort of relevant to the era. So it had a wish list of all my favorite things. Like for one, I really felt like it needed a great clean channel. So on the 120, I mean, we've got the clean channel on this is so good that you could use it just as a pedal platform if you wanted. And there are country guys that use it just for the clean amp. So that's how good the clean side is. And then, you know, I wanted to have some quality of life stuff. So I wanted to have both a noise gate and a boost built into it, like a Tube Screamer style boost. There's actually a boost on the clean channel, which is separate and different. It is not a Tube Screamer style boost. Maybe it's a little bit more Klon style, not as noisy, but like it's its own thing. And then I wanted to have, man, there's so many features on this thing. There's 2 serial effects loops in order. And that way you could, for example, feed a delay into a reverb, have them activated separately via the MIDI foot switch here. Or you could create presets, you know, where you have certain things on, the gate on, the boost on. And then I also have power for them. Mm-hmm. So that way for anything in the loop, or well, 2 pedals in the loop, you can power it off the amp, keep it off the ground, and just control it remotely with the pedal board there. So there's just a lot of little things that I always wished I could have. That'd be very convenient. And then we've also got a master volume, which is very handy so that you could get the amp sounding good at different volume levels. And the relationship between the master volume and the channel volume can drastically affect the tone of the amp. So for example, if you run the channel volume lower and the master volume higher, you get more of a scoop sound, a bit more high end, and you get more mid-range if you run the channel volume higher. So you can find that sweet spot, and you just have a lot of tonal options for you. So that's basically the concept.
So that's the 120 watt head. Mm-hmm. Which other versions are available?
So we have the 112 combo right here, and the MH, the mini head. And these are basically taking the spirit of that amp and like reducing it to 25 watts. And we're trying to get as many of the features. Like, for example, we have the boost and the gate, but you don't have quite as much control because there's only so much space to work with. But for those price points and for the amount of space that they take up, like they pack an absolute punch.
Right.
So really great products if you don't need 120 watts. But if you want the big boy, this is sort of the ideal version, right? If that makes sense.
You mentioned that you have a booster incorporated into the Invective and 2 boosters. And I also saw a video where you were talking about the precision drive.
Yes.
Right. So you use the booster to cut the bass and to pronounce the mids.
Yes. Do
you use that also for rhythm parts or mainly for soloing?
No, it's mainly for rhythm parts. It'll work well for soloing too. But when you use lower tunings, a lot of amps aren't really designed to get these lower frequencies. You get a very woofy sort of character when you palm it. It'll be like kind of like, you know. Right. And if you want that tight, like gent sound, that's how you get that, is you boost it. And it's basically like doing a low cut. It's actually doing a high cut as well, which a lot of people don't realize as much. But then you get this mid boost out of it. Right. And those are the frequencies that sort of give you that metallic quality.
Yeah, right.
So the boost sort of solves the low tuning problem.
Right. Yeah. So it's not just the boost, but it's more or less like an always-on pedal that you use.
Yes. And in fact, the only time I don't really want that on is when I'm switching to a clean channel.
Right.
So that's why like we have that boost for the crunch and lead. But for the clean channel, it has its own boost, but it's a completely different voicing. That's more of like a spanky, like kind of chimey kind of thing. You know, you just want like a pushed clean.
Right.
And that can be also switched. But I want my clean channel a lot of times to just be pristine.
All right, cool. And there's another thing you have in store, which is the new Neural DSP archetype plugin. Can you talk a little bit about that? I think there are 3 amps inside. What are they based on?
So those are based off, the amp one's based off of Mesa Lone Star. Mm-hmm. Amp 2's like a combination of the Invective and the Omega Granophyre. It's on the last album that we did. Those are kind of the 2 amps I was blending together, and it just made for such a cool rhythm concept. And then the third amp is like kind of like my ideal hot rodded Marshall. Think like Friedman meets like a Bogner Snorkeler or something like that. Just very, very angry hot rodded Marshall without but I still want the low end. I don't want to lose all the low end, and I want a bit of saturation out of it. And it's great, man. I mean, like, you know, Neural, they make the best. They make absolutely like the best software amp models, and like, I think, you know, I came to them with a wish list, and I just asked for everything, and they gave me everything I asked for. So I'm very, very happy with it. Like, it genuinely, I've been using it for a while. I put hundreds of hours into that and recorded so much with it, just nobody knew.
Yeah, right.
You know, I had to keep it a secret. But man, I'm extremely happy with it. Yeah.
Digital or analog?
Both, without a doubt. You don't need to choose. You can have both. It's 2025, guys. You can literally have. You don't. This is like an arbitrary thing. No one actually has to make a choice.
Okay.
I love and use both.
If you only could choose one record for taking it on the Lonely Island, what would that be?
Chaos Fear by Misha. No, actually, I take that back. Frederick Thorndahl's Special Defects.
Which guitar player was your greatest influence?
Oh man, the one, I don't know. Let's go with Alan Holdsworth, maybe, or Petrucci. I don't know. Or Guthrie. No, maybe Holdsworth. Let's go with Holdsworth.
We can grant you two.
Yeah. Holdsworth and Petrucci. There we go.
Most exciting new gear for the Guitar Summit 2025?
I don't know yet because I haven't had a chance. I've been doing interviews instead of going to check. What should I check out? Tell me. What do you like? What do you think I would like?
That's a good question.
Oh, man.
I'm also new here, right?
I'm very excited. I'm excited to walk around. I'll have an answer in a day.
Okay. So, Misha, thanks a lot for taking the time.
Yeah, thank you. Appreciate it.